This video will show you how to style a dashboard using shapes and images. We will try to improve the appearance of this dashboard using a logo and some backgrounds. First, let's add a logo using an image component. You can find the image component in the Output folder. Drag the image component into the dashboard where you want it. If you see the following prompt, which appears when you drag the image component on top of another component, select Move Component here rather than the tabbed interface option. You can now move the image component wherever you want it. Right-click on the image component and select Properties. You can select from one of several predefined skins to populate the image component, or you can upload an image of your own. To upload an image, press the Upload button, and then select the desired image. This uploads the image to the server and displays a preview of the image. Press OK to close the dialog box. The image component now displays the selected image. Notice that by default, the image is not scaled to the component boundaries, so you'll need to resize the component to make sure that you display the entire image. Position the image as desired in the dashboard. Note that you can move an image, as well as other components, pixel by pixel by holding down the Control key and pressing the arrow keys on the keyboard. This will help you with fine positioning of components. You can also use an image as the background for a dashboard or for a set of components. In this case, we'll use an image to provide a background for the entire dashboard. Drag in another image component. Again, if prompted, select Move Component here. Right-click on the image, select Properties, and this time choose one of the skin options. This skin option provides a blue to white gradient. Press OK to display this image in the image component. If you resize the image component, you'll notice that the image within the component does not resize. This is because, by default, the image component does not scale the image. To scale the image to the size of the image component, right-click on the image component and select Properties. Then choose Advanced. To turn on image scaling, enable the Scale Image option. Note that there are two sub-options for image scaling: Maintain Aspect Ratio and Scale 9-Cell Grid. In most cases, Maintain Aspect Ratio is the desired scaling method because this will preserve the proportions of the image. However, as we'll see momentarily, this is not the most suitable option for this case. Press OK to save the scaling option. Note that as you resize the image component, the image does scale with the component, retaining its proportions because we have selected the Maintain Aspect Ratio sub-option. However, because this image was originally square, it will always remain square as we resize, and will therefore never provide a suitable background for this rectangular-shaped dashboard. Additionally, the gray border of the image scales along with the rest of the image, which means that when we scale this image up to the size of the entire dashboard, the border becomes quite pronounced. We can address both of these problems by using the other scaling method. Right-click again on the image and select Properties, and under the Advanced tab, choose instead the Scale 9-Cell Grid scaling method. This method divides the image into 9 different regions based on the specification of a top, bottom, left, and right boundary. The interior cell of the image scales as the image component is enlarged, while the boundary areas do not scale. In this case, the original image had a 1-pixel gray boundary, and since we don't want to scale this 1-pixel boundary, we can enter a margin setting of 1 pixel for all 4 regions. Press OK to apply the new scaling. Note that the aspect ratio of the image is no longer constrained to be the same as the original image, and the 1-pixel gray boundary of the original image remains 1 pixel at all times. We can now use this image as a background for the dashboard. To do this, right-click on the image and select Send to Back. This will move the image behind all of the other components. Resize the image as desired to provide an appropriate background. Another useful component for providing dashboard backgrounds is a shape component such as a rectangle. In this case, we can add a second background around the first by using a rectangle component. To do this, simply drag the rectangle component into the dashboard and then set the properties of the rectangle. Some properties can be set from the toolbar, such as the background color, while other properties such as transparency or the corner rounding need to be set from the Properties dialog box. To set these, right-click on the rectangle and select Properties. Select the Shape tab, and then choose the desired alpha or transparency and the desired corner rounding. In this case, we'll use a setting of 12 pixels, where the number that you specify represents the radius of the corner. Larger values mean more gentle corners, smaller values mean sharper corners. Press OK to save the changes, then right-click on the rectangle component and select Send to Back. Drag the rectangle component into position where you want it to be displayed in the dashboard. In this case, we'll use the rectangle as a background surround for the image background that we created previously. When you're working with backgrounds like this, you may find it useful, once you've gotten the backgrounds into the desired position, to lock them in place. This will prevent you from accidentally moving the background when you're operating on other components. To lock a component in place, right-click on the component and select Lock. If you click on the component when it is locked, you'll notice that a lock symbol is displayed. This means that you cannot select, move, or resize the component by dragging on the component. To unlock a locked component, right-click on the component and select Unlock. In many cases, you'd like your finished dashboard to scale to fit the device on which it is being viewed. To set the dashboard to scale to the screen size, press the Options button in the toolbar, then select the Layout tab, and choose the Scale to Screen option. If you want to customize how the dashboard is displayed on different devices, for example on phones, computers, or tablets, you can define different layouts in the Layout panel. Please see the video on sizing a dashboard to different devices. To view the appearance of the finished dashboard as a user will see it, press the Preview button in the toolbar.